Welcome to the Tropical Arts Club! This is the show where if you're thinking about joining creative industry or you're in the early stages of being in your creative career and you want to know more about what's coming next, we bring on guests like this talented person who you cannot see behind the plant to shed light on what the industries are actually like.
My name is Shanice.
And I'm John.
And we are so excited to bring this to all of you, and we hope that you will find inspiration, maybe some laughter, maybe some fear about going into the creative industry.
Exactly, but mainly inspiration. And look at our overdone hand gestures because it's our first episode and we are nervous.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
But we hope you like our tropical set.
Yes, look at this cloth. It has leaves on it.
And because we are from the tropics ourselves, we wanted to add a little flavor.
Exactly.
So shall we introduce our first guest?
Yes, that was a very clumsy intro, but let's welcome our first guest.
He is the artistic director of the Second Breakfast Company.
And it is rumored that he alone keeps Uniqlo Singapore alive with his extensive flannel shirt collection. Introducing
Adeeb
Fazah!
Hi guys.
Hi Adeeb.
Can I set this down over here?
Sure. May I remove this plant? Let it be known that in future episodes we will have better plants.
We are so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited as well. I love the set.
Thank you.
I love the theme.
Thank you.
I love it.
He's
More.
just laughing.
More. Yeah,
what?
what else do you love?
And John and Shani.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Well, Adeeb, thank you for coming down, and because we dig you so much,
Okay.
we got you a gift.
Oh my.
Close your eyes for a second.
Okay.
We dig you so much, we got you... You can open your eyes
Okay.
now. We got you a shovel.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Because we dig you so much
And we hope you can use it.
for various activities.
We heard your
Thank you
last
so
show
much.
had a lot of soil.
It did.
And maybe this will
This would have been really useful.
Exactly.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
guys. I love it. I'm gonna wear it as a necklace.
Okay.
That might, just hit you.
I don't
where
know.
it's-
I'm gonna test it out and then
Okay.
I'll let you guys
It's a
know.
wise choice.
Yeah.
See, we have wise guests who
Yeah.
think before wearing shovels as necklaces.
So we are super excited to have you on board because Adeeb, like us, are kind of the same age and we're kind of in the same era. And he himself has started his own company here in Singapore. He has run his own projects here locally and internationally. But we also wanted to kind of get to know your journey. We're actually really good friends. We hang out all the time.
And we kind of know each other a little bit.
Yeah, but we don't know the deep and dark real deal of being a creative.
Exactly.
And so this is why we created this show, just to have that conversation with our friend.
Nice.
And we wanted to know what actually got you started on this journey.
We're about to go deep with Adeeb. Right. Okay, so Adeeb, tell us about yourself. Like, what first made you consider that, you know what, maybe I could do theater full time?
Wow. Okay. Should I go from the start or?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
what was the first production you ever starred in?
I can put this down.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
could.
I guess. My
Because we dig him.
Okay, I think we get it. I think my first production was in drama club in primary school, and then I was the king in this little production of Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really fun, and everyone else was really they were all my seniors, and then they cast me as the king.
Wow.
And I was this small. And
You've grown a lot.
I know. So I've heard, and I guess that was the first time I really fell in love. Like I was really enjoying like the craft of telling the story on stage, and then having people come and like that you share the moment because it's live, right? And then I didn't stop being in drama club. Like I just always found my way into it, in all the way like from primary 2 to primary 6, and then Sec 1, Sec 2, Sec 3, Sec 4, and then in JC also I was doing drama. And then in JC also I took theatre studies. So that was really fun. It was a legitimate module, and I studied for the A levels. And I think that was when it got very serious, because like you would actually have to pour through books and think properly about stuff. And then you read up about all the other like theatre legends, like whoever lah, Stanislavski, Beckett, whatever. Kopakun, and you basically, beyond just like having fun on stage and coming up with stories to tell, you actually like think about, so in the whole wide world, what is this like craft that's been going on for so long, and what's come before us that's led to me, like how, what am I entering, and what's already been done, what the stories have been told, what's already been exercised and experimented with. So that was the A levels, and I really thought that it was gonna stop, like that was it. My foray into drama was just like, okay, that's it, and then going to serious stuff after that. And then I went to uni and I did a minor in drama. And I was also involved with Yellow Chair Productions and multiple different ways. So I was doing a bit of acting, I was doing a bit of I was doing acting, directed a bit, and then wrote small things, and that was really fun. And then the company sort of went into like an existential crisis kind of hiatus, but because there was a momentum going, a few of us came together and like decided to sort of continue doing work as our own separate entity. And then so that continued, and while I was in uni, we were already doing our first, second shows. And then I think when I was in uni also, I was going through a bit of a decision making, like a very existential moment also for myself, because I was majoring in communication, specifically in like marketing communication and stuff like that. And I did enjoy it. I was doing public relations, and then like my final year project was really fun. We did Theatre Invasion, and that was like this huge like marketing campaign and stuff like that. And then I got a gig immediately after I graduated. But I thought, like, okay, after the gig, I'll get a job in marketing, communications, etc. And then that'll be it. That'll be like the rest of my life. So I think I did send in a couple of applications to different places. There were times where I literally was like doing up my application, and I just stopped, and I really just thought to myself like, is this it? Is this what I really plan to do with the rest of my life? And then I graduated, and then I went to do the show immediately after I graduated. And that show was not in Singapore. It was like my first international gig. So I went to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah, he was on the Straits Times.
Oh my god!
So for people who are not familiar with the Edinburgh Fringe, like how big is this?
So I think it's the biggest like arts event in terms of just the sheer number of events happening under the same like festival banner. So I think there were like a total of 3,000 shows.
Whoa!
It was ridiculous, because so you're there, you're doing the show, you will also be watching other shows, and it was really like overwhelming when you get there, because there are all these shows. There are thousands of shows, and you're just like, where do I even start? I don't know anyone. I don't know any of these companies. What's good, you know? And then you sort of get into a groove of things where you end up doing your show, and then for the rest of the day you watch like 5 plays.
Whoa.
Back to back. It's so crazy. And then people, like, whenever you step out onto the street, you're just like, there are posters lining every single surface.
Oh my god.
Of the fences, of the roads, of the taxis, and of the buses. And then there are people just like shoving flyers into your face of all your shows. It was so ridiculous. But I think that was when I realized, I think there is more. There is more that I really want to do with my life, beyond, you know, communication. And I think only when I got back, after I'd finished the show, I got back, and then I was like, okay, what now? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting because while I was sending out I continued to send applications out to different places, and I was still thinking about it. I was very on the fence. In the meantime, I started driving the Uber.
Ooh, Burr.
I know. So I was driving the Uber, and I was also rehearsing for a show that I was doing with Second Breakfast. And then I stopped driving the Uber. Then I was doing the show. And then when I finished the show, that was when I was literally like, okay, what am I doing? Seriously speaking. Because I had finished everything. I finished all my gigs for the year. I had nothing going on. And I was like, actually, I've been doing the drama thing for a while since I've graduated. Why not? Let's just try. Let's just go for it, you know? And I won't lie, I was broke. Because I wasn't doing a lot of stuff. I was so broke. But I think what pushed me was because I really felt like there was something that I could do to get somewhere that I can sort of like, okay, I can do this and I can actually make money out of it. So I just kept working up towards that. You know, I think a lot of things also came into place nicely for me. I think there were a lot of moments where I genuinely felt like someone just came up to me and gave me something, and I just couldn't say no. I think I couldn't say no. Also because of how desperate the situation was. So that was a reality check. But I think I couldn't say no, but also I didn't want to say no because there were all these opportunities that were coming, where it could take me anywhere. And I was really excited. I was just like, okay, let's go, let's jump into it, let's do this. So I did. And I developed my company further. I was like, so with the company, we're also thinking of doing more serious stuff in terms of how the company works, operates. Because right now it's not like a full-time company. We don't have like an office space. We don't have any of that. It's by project basis. And and also making a lot of friends, accepting work from here and there. Someone offered if I wanted to do like a lot more like teaching gigs, and I gladly accepted, and I was really grateful for it. And I went and I did a lot of teaching gigs, and it was great. It was a learning opportunity for myself as well, because I think teaching is very different, and like I'm not the most qualified person to teach, to be frank. As far as drama goes, I have a minor in drama, and that's it. Yeah, so I think teaching has been a very like it's been a great opportunity for me to learn about what I like, what I don't like, what I think it's great, what's good for the craft and what's not, as well as how you work with different people, how you collaborate with different people. Yeah, and then I think where I am now is basically an accumulation of just sort of jumping into things and saying yes to things. Yeah, and I think I'm in a very comfortable place.
Wow.
How did you find people who support you when you first start out? What did you meet good people, or like were there people who said, "Oh, you're too young"?
Wow. Yeah, I think definitely it was a bit tough because your network is whoever you know, and then like whoever you don't know, then like that's out of the question unless you literally go there and say hi, right? So I guess because I already had the company going on before I even graduated, that was like my safe space. It was a comfort zone, even though it wasn't a full-time company. I knew I had that, and I could channel a lot of my energy there, channeling my energy towards, you know, creating something that would become something bigger, something more permanent, something that's very, you know, there's a structure, there's a shape to it. And also allowing myself to sort of grow as an artist, as in terms of what I do, creative side. Yeah, but also I think really embracing the challenge of making friends and beyond just networking because you need work. I think I've been going for a lot of events, theater events, meeting people, just, you know, being comfortable to sort of just say hi and just make that connection, and just sort of remembering the face. Yeah, because I think even for the company also, we're quite happy to network with and make the connection with the other companies who are sort of like our peers. So we've been in touch with them, and we're like, you know, like, this is fun, see where this goes. Anytime in the future we might collaborate. But you know, it's anyone's guess.
For a young person that's looking to break into this network that's already been established, what would you suggest they do to become one of you?
Wow. I think just go for workshops and make friends, because I think when you do a workshop, even if it's like a simple 101 or whatever, you meet other people who want to learn the same thing as you. So in that way, you are already kind of like-minded, and also you make friends with like the person who's conducting a workshop, who sometimes can be quite like established people lah. Then you sort of just like remember them, say hi when you bump into them again. But also, you know, I feel like you just have to just jump right in. Go for, if you're like a performer, go for auditions. Say hi, and say hi to us when like you bump into us on the streets. Yeah, and also there are a lot of these random like networking events. They aren't always called networking events, but it can be something like if you go to a space like Center 42 where they have like a lecture series, or someone's conducting like a workshop, or like I don't know, like a debate or a presentation by someone. And I think that's where you really can sort of meet different people who are also more or less thinking about the same things as you, and also going down some similar trajectory, or have gone down some similar trajectory as you would like to. Yeah. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's an easy task. I guess in that way I had the like a head start, because I was already meeting a lot of different people at Yellow Chair. So even before I graduated, I already met people, and then there were all these people who would later on also go out and do their own thing, get hired from like big projects and stuff like that, and that's great. But I think, yeah, I guess it's really just going out there and putting yourself out there for different things. Just meeting, and like I think it's also about taking the opportunity to say hi if you're in the same room as someone, if like whatever, you know, event or project that you're working on. Yeah.
Talking about things that are not easy, I want to like hone in on the personal. Are there moments for you as an artist that you felt like you struggled with, and moments of failures perhaps? Or burnouts, and then how did you navigate that? Because being an artist is tough, man.
It is. It comes with a lot of challenges. I think for me, the biggest worry I have is whether I'm not challenging myself. Of course, I've had failures and like, I mean, it depends how you define failure. But so, for example, I might do a show and then after the show decide, okay, there were things there that I could have definitely done better, or changed the way I did something. And then it's quite scary because sometimes these things get picked up and they are like someone might write about it. You know, like people will write reviews about shows. And then it's out there for the whole world to see. Then it's like, okay, some people are entitled to their opinions. So for example, the recent show that we did, The Old Woman and the Ox, was a mixed bag for different people. And we had reviews. We had reviews for it, a couple at least that I know of. And then I think there was one particular review that was not appreciative of, I think, the decision that as a company we made to do a play that was very fresh, that was very raw. But you know what? I think for me, I appreciate people writing about it because then, well, firstly, any kind of publicity, but secondly, I can learn from it. You know, I can learn from it. I can learn what goes on in the person's mind about how they approach a work, how they view a work as an audience member. Because if I'm doing a work, if I'm working on something, I'm very close to the thing that I might not see like the bigger picture. And I think, I mean, that's obviously like any artist's kind of dilemma, I feel. Yeah. But I think, I definitely am a bit conscientious about that, in that I take every work that I do as a learning journey, as something to learn from. I set myself some kind of parameter before I jump into a project of like what I can achieve and what I hope to sort of do with it, and then see whether I can go there in a like a self-challenge kind of way. and then at the end of the project, see whether that came out, you know, nice. Yeah. But I guess besides like the creative wise also, I think on a personal level, it's definitely been an uphill challenge to constantly secure like a salary. I think if you don't do something that pays you monthly, for example, you're always constantly looking to the next paycheck. And if you find yourself in that situation, which was my life for a while after graduation, then you're always working towards finding opportunities, and opportunities don't come very often. Thank you. They don't come very often, especially in the creative sector like theatre. And I think it's also, especially as a director, I was like, I don't know who to turn to discuss, like, you know, like I don't find auditions for directing gigs. There are no like, it doesn't work that way. So I was just constantly like, okay, where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do? And like, I'm not to say that I've not written in to just ask, you know, for opportunities, and not to say that I've been met with a lot of just like silences. But I think, you know, I'm not gonna blame anyone or anything, because I think I can see that where I stand, perhaps I also need to grow, because I'm not the most qualified person on paper even. So then, you know, what can I do as an individual? So then you turn to your friends, and then you're like, what are the opportunities that I can sort of create for myself? And I think that was a very fun thing to explore. It was something that I discussed with a buddy of mine, a pal. His name is Shaiful. So he's like this producer guy. He wears a hat. and
He really wears a hat.
he wears a hat. He's known for that, and he's one of the founders of Boomi Collective now, and he was the artistic director at Yellow Chair previously, so that's how I know him. And basically, we had a chat, and then we were like, it was this epiphany moment of like, oh, could we possibly do something that doesn't really fall into the purview of both our individual companies in order to sort of create that extra channel for earnings for ourselves. So we did it, and we literally came up with a company called Adeeb and Shai. And it's super extra, I know. And we came up with a brand for it, and it's very simple. It's just like fringe theater, which doesn't get a lot of which doesn't get a lot of attention in Singapore. So we did that. We did one show in April this year, and that was fun. So it was this show called Lemons.
That's a lot of lemons.
It was a lot. And it was a really fun show. And it was a simple, quite straightforward, fringe piece where it was just two actors on a stage. Go. Yeah, and we're hoping to do a bit more with it as well next year. So look out for that. I think it's if you aren't able to find the opportunities, what kind of opportunities can you create for yourself?
Cool. Okay, let's take a quick technical break to check on our gear, because it's our first time doing this, and our camera might not be recording at all. And welcome back
to our special talk show with Adeeb Fazah.
Yay! Okay, I guess welcome back. Right, so Adeeb, you were talking a lot about how you were not qualified on paper to do things like a minor, so you said that teaching was perhaps not what you're most qualified for.
Yeah.
How important is a paper qualification in the theater scene?
Okay, firstly, I think wherever I've gotten myself into the work that I've gotten to do is sort of testament to the non-necessity for paper qualification, I think. Because obviously I've made my way around to different things without I don't know, I didn't go to drama school. I don't have a degree. I didn't do a summer school thing with Suzuki. I don't know.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Stella Adler.
Hey.
I didn't have. So yeah, I never did that. But honestly, I think if you have a few projects, I think people around you already believe in you, and a lot of times, because the industry is quite small, word travels or people hear of you, and then they sort of already have some kind of confidence in the work that you do. So I think that's been to my advantage, especially because we've been able to grow Second Breakfast as a company, as a brand, amongst the peers, amongst the people who consider themselves youth, and just the people in the theatre scene who are interested in the work that we do, because the work that we do also might interest the not so young, because because one of the content pillars that we have is the revival of old work from the Singapore body of work. So yeah, for them it's like a throwback to the good old days. But for us,
we just lost 5 sponsors.
I'm so sorry.
We're just offending an entire demographic right now.
Oh,
But thanks, Adeeb.
Should we start again? No,
Good, thanks, man.
This is a real talk.
what was I saying? What was my-
Okay, so you were talking about qualifications, how your body
yeah.
work matters more than your qualifications,
Yeah.
and then you were talking about the geriatric.
the brand, okay, yeah, word of mouth. Basically, I think that was what I was trying to get at. Because when people like like they see that they've seen you do something, they're like, oh, okay, he does this and he does that kind of work, and I think because the industry is that small, it's quite tight knit. I would like to think. I think the word travels, and then you have that advantage of like having heard of or know about someone before even meeting them. And because like if you go to shows, you already see them there, like you feel each other's presence, that kind of thing. Or if you go for events and they're there also. I think mostly for me it's been just doing the work, and for me each project that I take on, make it the best that I can, so that if someone walks into the audience and sits down in the theater, and that person is someone who hires people, it's like I know I will ace this interview. Like if
Wow, that's a good way.
it's like they walk into my portfolio,
Oh.
and so basically I need to set it up so that it's pretty decent, and they see like where my like skills lie, where my interests lie, and what I can offer as an artist. And I think making it clear somewhere, like either you write it down somewhere on your blog or Facebook or whatever, so that people who want to get to know you can see like, okay, you're coming from somewhere, you thought about this, and therefore the work that you do, and over time committing to many different projects, that sort of builds up your portfolio, and then from your portfolio people are like, okay, immediately like, okay, if this is all the work that he's done, I kind of understand what it's about. I kind of understand what this person's about, and then if they want to work with you, want to hire you, they already know that.
So it seems like you have people supporting you in the scene now.
Yeah.
And how about your family? Because in Singapore,
Yes.
the arts is not seen as a stable.
Exactly.
It's not.
They want you. I mean, it's not, and a lot of parents want to be able to have a child who is a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. How did they take you going into this? Now it's been 2 years almost, full time.
Yeah. Interesting question. No, definitely I do still feel like nobody really the general public, I think, when you like, if you are taking a taxi, for example, then you talk to the person, then the person's like, oh, so what do you do? And then you tell them like, oh, I do art, I create, I do the drama, and then they're like, oh, full time, and then you have to sort of defend your position on why you're doing it,
I feel you.
because they always like, oh, okay, so there's always this like, is it a legitimate thing to do? And you're just like, oh no, it's just my life, and it's just my job. And it always feels like I have to defend my position, and I shouldn't have to, because I actually make money from it, and I actually make a living from it. I am, I get to buy food and clothes,
And the
it's
flannels.
taking
Uniqlo.
care of me, yeah. And I think support wise, you find your tribe, you'll find people who you have worked with, or you've not worked with, but who are familiar with you, who you can trust, and I think that's great, and I genuinely feel like I have that. I think when it comes to family, it's very different.
Spill, brother.
Okay, so I think I don't like like myself, I don't think my family, my parents especially, I don't think they saw me going down this line of work. I don't think they ever thought about it at all. And I think one of the decisions for me, one of the factors for me making the decision on what course I would be doing in uni was that it was not theatre. Because my parents were just not going to support it, and they made it clear. And I thought, okay, it's fair because it's your money. I think it's fair. In my personal opinion, I think it's fair. And then what I do with my time in the university was to do a minor there. So I feel like that was a cheat code. So I mean, I think that on my part was a decision that okay, I want to commit to a minor in drama, and it's an available option. So why not? So let's do it. So I did that, and then in terms of the support I get from my family, they don't often come for my shows. I mean, my brother and my sister do. My parents don't. They're just not theatre goers in general. So I always feel like I've always had to prove that like the time and effort I spend on every project is actually meaningful and it means something and it's worthwhile. And I think even until like when I was like in my final year of uni, my parents were still like, okay, just get a corporate job and do whatever it is you're doing in uni for the rest of your life. And then I think they only took it really seriously when I got the job to do the Edinburgh show. Because then there was a newspaper article that came out before we even flew up
The
about
Straits Times.
Fine journalism.
I know.
Yes, and that's
So-
the first time I met Adeeb on the paper.
Oh,
Wow.
Actually, I didn't even know it was him until
man.
I actually met him. I was like, oh, is this a guy? I was like, oh wow.
yeah. So they like I mean they are very excited that I came out in the newspaper. They will like share the link on the Facebook or whatever. And it's been this very quiet kind of like, okay lah, I get what you're doing. I may not understand it fully, but I get it. But can you make a living out of it? I think it was the question. And I think they were really excited about my overseas gig, my Edinburgh show. So they actually flew up
Wow.
to see the last show. Like on the last day, they came to see the show, and I was really excited. And so they saw the show. They met with like Shai, who was my collaborator on that show, and I think because of that, they were like willing to not force me into a lifetime of corporate slavery. What? Yeah, I think they were willing to give me the chance to prove myself that okay, if I'm really serious about this, prove that I can actually make a living out of it. And obviously, in the first few months, it was a bit of a struggle. But I think at this point, they've sort of like trust, like they've placed the trust in me to do that and to continue doing that. Yeah. So I think even if they don't show it by turning up, I think they do in many ways, support it. Yeah.
That's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're about at the duration of time where this show must end. And I should phrase that way more eloquently in subsequent episodes. But if there was a very talented young person who wanted to go into theater to do what you're doing, and they're, let's say, 16, just out of school, don't know what to do, what is one thing or a bunch of things you would tell them to do that would steer them on the right course?
Wow. I would say dream big, be realistic. And those are contradictions sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's how much you want it and how much you are willing to make it work. Yeah, I think if you can dream big, then what are the steps you can take to get there? I think it's always possible. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that was Adeeb
Adeeb
Fazah!
I hope all of you who are watching or listening that you found some valuable nuggets that will encourage you into your own creative journey, or if you know someone who is struggling with their journey, that you can show them this wonderful wisdom that Adeeb has to share.
He's just wisdom wrapped in flannel.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uniqlo, if you want to sponsor this show.
Yeah, like
Up to you.
I wear your stuff when I'm not wearing this.
and right now we have our final segment.
Exactly.
We give our guests a 15-second time to kind of
Plug anything they want to plug.
Yes.
So, do you have an upcoming show or?
Oh my god. Yes. So the Second Breakfast Company is doing this play in the Arts House in March. It's under the Textures Festival. It's called Performing Malay Sketches, based on the book by Alfian Sa'ad. And we are also doing a couple of other projects in the year 2019. For example, the Hawker, we're restaging it and we're redeveloping it, and that's time. Thank you.
Oh, we were going to plug it for you
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
in our
So
very
yeah.
great way.
So to thank you for coming on. Usually, or maybe in later episodes, we would have a ukulele where we would play some music and come up with something to plug your upcoming
Amazing.
shows. However, all we got is shuffle.
La 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 la. The Hawker is going to be restaged.
Yeah.
And the
Other show, Malay Sketches.
in the art
House, yeah, in the House of the Arts.
Break.
Yeah.
So please go and watch.
Thanks for watching the show, and we will see you on the next episode. Like and subscribe and all those good things. Shovel time.